We're live. You like
Alive, yeah.
that? This is
Alive
gonna be a
and
good
well.
time. I'm excited about today's show.
This is going to go good.
Oh, hey, big hugs.
Oh.
Don't hit that mic.
That happens
though.
my mic. Where's my mic? My snare.
And this is where I kick it in, so just watch out. Here we go. What's up, everybody? This is Mini Biking Ain't Easy, a podcast where we talk about mini bikes, go-karts, maybe some dirt bikes, power sports in general, F1 if you want to throw some questions out there. We are currently Facebook Live, so if you're listening on Spotify or your Apple Podcasts, make sure you get here just a week earlier. Get on Facebook Live, check us out, send in some comments, questions, concerns. Bernie has a contract where he has to read anything and everything. That you guys write.
Verbatim.
Yeah.
And so before we kick it off, I need to give a shout out to a couple of our sponsors. Printed Threads. If anyone's looking for the best place to get their stuff printed, t-shirts, hoodies, hats, banners, you name it, Printed Threads is your place to go. Ask for my man Ryan. He's a good dude. Actually, Bernie and I went out there yesterday and met Ryan and checked out Printed Threads.
Super dope.
Super clean time. Hey, is your mic on?
It is now.
Oh, okay.
Hey, there he is.
There's Bernie.
I'm doing a little too much right now. Trying to figure it out.
Yeah, your hands are full. I also want to give a shout out to Justin out at AS Color. If you are looking for the most premium garments out there, AS Color is the one and only brand. People are like, oh, Bella Canvas or Gildan. No, you need to check out AS Color. That is simply the best stuff. You're going to see some cool things being printed out. I hit up my guy on some baseball tees.
Yeah.
we need that.
Oh, you're for the GPS 180 for the fourth quarter. You guys are gonna see some sweet
Let's
baseball
go.
tees. Yes, and that's like the button-up baseball tees, not like quarter.
Like jerseys?
Yes, like
Yeah.
jerseys.
What?
It's gonna be sick. So
Okay.
everyone keep an eye out. If you should also keep an eye out on Instagram. Side note, I'm going to piggyback real quick. I wish more people would follow us on Instagram because I am putting my heart and soul into some photos and videos, and it is just being glossed
You're just
over.
one button away, guys.
Yeah.
One button
Yes,
away.
go over there, like, subscribe, just like on the YouTube as well.
Even if it's to talk trash, get our engagement up. Because I'm the only
down.
one talking trash to Jason
Yeah.
all the time on that thing.
That's a lot of work on the back end. Don't do that.
Yeah. We also want to give a shout out to Jose at Rockwood Go-Karts and Mini Golf. If you are looking for family-friendly activities to do in Texas, Fort Worth, Texas, go check out rockwoodgokarts.com. Some of the fastest karts in the fort. Definitely a good time. So what's up, Jose? Also want to give a shout out to Tillotson, Megamoto, and Jomama. I can't do this without my besties. Typically, this is where I give a shout out to my main man, Zane, keeping us in the lane. He is not in. We miss him. We love him. Big old hugs. He'll be going to New York to hang out with his brother to go ride for a little bit.
Cool.
Miss you, Zane. Love you, Zane. Hey, Bernie, did you and Zane go watch Mission Impossible without me already?
No, not yet. We will be watching it without you next week, hopefully, though.
Boo.
No.
I hear it's an awesome movie. Have you seen?
I didn't even know it was out yet.
Okay, well, we're about.
But I
a
already
month
saw it
late.
without you.
So, taking Zane's spot, we have one of my longest buddies in all the world. He was also my roomie for a little bit. We have Oliver Loving the Fifth.
What's up, race team? How we doing?
Yeah. So, how long have we been buddies?
I'm guessing if we had to guess. This is
I'm just pushing buttons. In this
okay, guys. Calm down. I'd say on the bad side of 20 years.
20 years we've been besties. We essentially grew up together.
We did, yeah.
How did our circles even collide?
We were both in probably some of the world's biggest rock bands.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Do we have any photos anywhere of this?
We prefer not to show those.
I'm going to get photos for next times.
It's not a good idea.
It's the one with you with no shirt and just the tie.
Yeah, just the tie, and it actually has a spot where I connect my guitar.
Was it a regular tie or was it like a skinny tie that
It's
people used to wear
it's
that-
almost a shoestring. That's how skinny it was. Yeah.
So yeah, we used to play music together. You were always at Doty's house for some reason. Hey, Doty.
Yeah, our circles started to intertwine, seeing each other every weekend, and just flourished into a real nice friendship. And we hold on to a lot of those friends to this day. So it's a good circle to be in.
The
We're
top
actually-
8.
Yeah, we're actually
It is
going
top
to
eight.
a
T-Mobile
wedding
top 4.
reception down in Austin this weekend.
This coming weekend, Austin, hit us up if you got any. We'll drop some mini bikes off, shirts, swag.
Yeah, I
you
think
name it.
we'll hit up the Chewies and Chili's.
Chewies and Chili's, the 2 Chuz.
Yeah.
And then after that, we're probably just headed home. Just a quick little
Not
visit
even hang out.
for some mom and pop local restaurants.
Yeah, so you've been on the podcast earlier. Last time we talked to you, you found out that mini biking wasn't easy.
Turns out it's not as easy as we say it is.
You took a spill on a mini bike. You hit some gravel, ran into a cattle guard. You were in the hospital for 2 months.
2.5 months.
2.5 months. Oh, how you feeling now?
100%. We're back in. I'd say within the last probably week and a half, 2 weeks is me officially jumping back on a mini bike. It's not hardcore riding, but it's, kind of bringing some stuff out of the showroom,
Nice.
getting my bearings going, starting to feel pretty good again.
Are you able to do the worm?
On the bike?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
That part never stopped.
Those we also have a chat box on gopowersports.com, and sometimes if you have inquiries, chat box stuff, emails, you are most likely talking to Oliver. He's been running that showroom for last couple of years. How long you been with the company?
This year will be 5 years.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Is there a month that we need to know in mind?
I think we're, I think it's late August.
Late August.
Yeah.
We need to get a cake. Oh, man. Mike Patron has been with the company for like 10 years this month.
This month?
He gets a bigger cake.
Yeah. 10 candles.
Mike Patron, I know you're packaging orders right now for everyone who's waiting on their orders, so you're not listening to us. But if you are, thank you for sticking around for 10 years and running the warehouse. You are the man.
He's the man.
Okay,
Okay,
good
nice one.
And all the way from Arkansas, we have our buddy Lee Taylor. Come on out, Lee. Where are you at, Lee? I can't even see you.
I found him.
I was hiding.
Come sit down, put on some cans.
So I was like, oh, I'm standing over his shoulder.
People need to know all about you, Lee.
There are already questions about him on the chat.
There's
Really?
no way.
Because of my description. They want to know what's his lap time. I had a 6-minute lap this last time.
No.
You didn't. I
Whoa.
had 8:47.
You did.
Yeah, and no one else was faster, right? Or
Yeah.
was there someone
I'll
faster?
say it with my chest.
6 minutes maybe before we extended the track a mile.
That's
I never rode it prior to this year, and I've only ridden a mini bike 3 times. But I will say, if you spent thousands of hours riding a dirt bike, mini biking is easy.
whoa.
Some harsh
I
words
take
to the
that
community.
personally.
Well,
Wow.
someone said 6 minutes, so I'm gonna.
I don't imagine how a 6-minute lap could have even been
Nathan
done.
Salazar wants to know, and I'm going to extend an invite to Nathan to come on the podcast. Talk about it.
And show us, hey,
Yeah.
we need some GoPro.
Prove it. Prove it.
All right, so let's back up. So, Lee Taylor, what do you do for the company?
I'm actually a Trail Master district sales rep. So I, reach out to dealers, get them set up, and then I keep the existing dealers happy and make sure their inventory's stocked up. Actually, Aaron does most of the keeping them happy in terms of parts and warranty and all that tech support. But yeah, that's the gist of it.
Okay, well, you have a
Wholesale.
specialty with Trailmaster. What is your specialty?
I've been riding dirt bikes since I was 4. I wasn't good at other stuff, and I had a head start against all my friends with a lot of hours on a dirt bike. So, if you start playing a sport and you suck at it right away, you're like, whatever. But if you do it by yourself for long enough, and then when your other friends show up, and then all of a sudden you're like, hey, I'm better. Like, I'm pretty good.
Okay.
Nice.
Big fish, small pond. I think that's what kind of kept me focused on that. I tried other stuff, but just always, I begged my parents from the time I was 4 till I was 12 to get to race. And then the second, that was greenlit. That was every weekend thing.
Why dirt bikes? Did your dad ride? Your mom ride?
My dad rode, but not competitively, and didn't know the first thing about racing or anything like that. He's a contractor, loves building stuff, so we like the tinkering side of things. But he's just not a competitive person. I remember going to the starting line. No one packed my starting gate until I was like on the line for a pro class, and I was like, oh yeah, there's money at stake. I guess I'll fill in this rut and take it seriously. But no, he'd just be standing in the infield and,
Supportive.
good luck.
That's good.
Well, so, but what turned you on at 4 to be like, yes, dirt bike?
So he did ride. He
Okay.
and I inherited my brother's hand-me-down Suzuki JR50.
Oh, okay.
But it was, we were living in Austin, Texas. We would drive out to Hutto to my uncle's and go ride in a field, nothing special. And back then it was so hard to find races on TV, but when I did, I was like, oh. It
Ricky
just brought me
Carmichael,
to-
is that your guy?
Ricky Carmichael in his 125 era where he crashed all the time, but he also surprisingly holds the only undefeated 125 or currently 250 Supercross season, so he wasn't that inconsistent towards the end. But yeah, Ricky Carmichael, absolutely my guy. Growing up as a kid,
You watching what? I don't know which one, but one of the Deacons, I guess one of the boys, like hitting quads.
he's amazingly fast.
and
He's
smooth. Not smooth. Okay, maybe I'm just seeing AI photo videos.
He is fast, and he has that similar Carmichael-esque of like hanging it out. It's not pretty. If you want to see pretty and smooth, look at the 450 class. Look at obviously either the Lawrence brothers, Jed or Hunter, Ken Roxon. If you want to see an animal who just attacks and gets stuff done, Eli Tomac, and then Deegan. Yeah, Deegan said a lot of things and done a lot of things off the track that I don't care if he ever goes down as the greatest of all time, which I think he's not there. But even if he did, I don't like
Okay.
some of the stuff he's done off track.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Well, let's bring out our next guest, Deegan. Come on in here.
So what was the first dirt bike, and what was your next? And
Oh God, if we go through the order, it's going to take a while. First dirt bike was JR50.
just
I'll hit some highlights.
Hit the highlights. Yeah.
There were a bunch of like newspaper classified bikes and bikes that were traded into my granddad's car, buy here, pay here lot. First brand new bike was an RM85 in 2003. I had done a hare scramble. That's a 2-hour woods race. Basically, think the GPS 180 as a 120. I did that on an XR80. Almost shot myself in the foot for getting to race for the rest of my life because I was mad that my dad went to a Boy Scout trip with my brother instead of the race, so my uncles took me.
Oh man. So you were gonna stick.
So
it to
he
your
was like,
dad, huh?
well, I don't want to take you to more races. You had a bad attitude about it because you got third. And I'm like, well, but you weren't there. That's what I was mad about. Anyway,
Daddy was.
we have a great relationship, I swear. My dad's the
Sounds
best.
like
Yeah, totally.
But then a year later, we went to the same hare scramble, and everything was good. Then we started riding some motocross, and then within a few months, going into 2003, we got on the mailing list for the local series. Mid-South Series actually used to come all the way out here to Euless.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, back when gas was cheap, and other bills were cheap, and so I raced that my first full year and was absolutely hooked. Was also built like Sasquatch even as a kid. You can't tell I'm sitting on this little love seat, but I'm 6'5", and so when I was 12 years old, I think I was like 6'1" or something.
Nuts.
So I broke the frame on that
Oh,
RM85
nuts.
a few times. We don't talk about
Okay.
those.
Sorry. Yeah.
But so then probably my first two most formative bikes, that RM85, just because the first time you get a brand new bike, everything feels amazing. And then obviously I didn't fit on it though. So then hopping on a 2004 CRF 250R, I went from being this kid who's way too big, couldn't really jump stuff, watching my friends jump and thinking, okay, well, when I get to big bikes, I'll probably just quit because I'm not jumping that 50-foot double at Malibu MX in Hot Springs.
Man.
Shout out to anyone from Arkansas who recognized that. I think Mike Deuce probably knows it. And then all of a sudden I got on a bike that fits and I was like, oh, this is easy. And, I looked like Skeletor, so I weighed 120 pounds. I was basically a monkey with a loaded gun on a
Holy
254-stroke motocross bike. So I pulled a lot of hole shots and just got passed by faster guys and eventually started picking it up that way. And then once we started racing a lot, I finally convinced my dad my dad got me a practice bike. And then we'd kind of rotate out a bike, after 2 years. So I went through a lot of bikes, and then,
You got a favorite bike out of that whole history?
So I was talking with my friend about this recently. We both really we were like, man, we base all of our opinions on 2025 motorcycles against the bikes that we spent. The first bike that we spent, let's say, 300 hours on. So for us, that was that 2004 through 09 CRF 250R chassis, or 05 through 08 on the 450 side of things. If I hop on a bike and it feels like it has that rider triangle, when I say rider triangle, I mean foot pegs to seat to handlebars, I just feel at home. If the weight bias is kind of similar, even to some extent, especially on a 450, the power characteristics, obviously I don't want a 2004 model engine characteristic on a 250, but a 450 are just kind of making it manageable. So yeah, that's kind of been, I don't know if it's my favorite, but it's been the most memorable. It's the benchmark for me, at least in chassis.
And how long did you ride competitively?
I still do.
You still do? Okay. Nice.
Well, yeah.
I know it's tough with kids and whatnot.
Right, exactly. So when I was like 14 through 18, I won a few amateur like state titles, which, it's Arkansas, so like big fish, small pond, whatever. I get that. It means nothing in the grand scheme of things. At 18, my freshman year of college, I started racing local pro, got a ride the next year with an arena cross team. That was cool. Made a couple main events. Essentially, for those who aren't familiar with motocross, there's motocross, there's supercross that's indoors in the stadiums, and arena cross is like arena football to NFL. It's the minor leagues.
Okay.
Whatever. Hey, cool. I was on TV for that, getting lapped. Okay. So it's not even like front runner in it, but like, hey, I was there.
You're
so that's,
there.
Hey, I never expected to get there, so I was happy with it. And then, earned a pro motocross license, never qualified for motos. Those guys are insanely fast. And, still raced, I raced the first 3 rounds of the Arkansas State Series this fall. And then was a little too busy, missed the last 2 rounds, but rode 450 Pro, 250 Pro, and over 30.
Nice. So how did you transition into a salesman type role?
So I went into college with 15 credit hours of engineering classes and thought, okay, I want to be an engineer working in the motorcycle industry. This seems like the most fun. And then I was at a race. I met a guy who owns a suspension and engine building company, and he was like, don't do it. I was like, what do you mean? He goes, well, everyone who wants modified parts is fast. I was like, okay. And they all want free stuff. I was like, oh.
True.
And he showed me his 90s Model S10, and I was like, oh, yeah, I have that truck. And he's like, yeah, exactly. You don't want that truck. So then I met at a few outdoor nationals. I started talking to the different reps for, like the goggle reps and all this stuff. And a bunch of them had marketing degrees, so I changed my degree to marketing. And frankly, it freed up a lot of hours to ride after class anyway, because, Cal 1 and 2, I can't remember. Of the 3 calculuses, 1 is like really labor intensive. So if you don't have calculus 1 through 3 to have a marketing or a business degree, so much more time for riding dirt bikes.
Oh, yeah.
So went into that, graduated with a degree in marketing. And in Arkansas, with a degree in marketing, you could either go cold call at Hewlett-Packard's call center in Conway, Arkansas for a maxed out all-in pay plan of $50K if you hit every bonus, or you could go sell, do whatever you want, like you didn't have a degree. So I went and sold cars, and then wound up getting back in the industry because as a kid, I had always sold a bunch of parts and actually built engines out of my dad's garage when I was 14 to help fund my racing. So I kind of knew enough to be dangerous in the power sports world. And then eventually wore every hat you could in a dealership while I was in college. So I got picked up by a smaller side-by-side brand and then went to work for Suzuki Motorcycles in 2018. And then during COVID, it was great. You could sell anything you could get your hands on, but when you couldn't get your hands on more product, then the cash register stops ringing for the OEM, so they laid off a bunch of their workforce, myself included. And then I found a job down here in Dallas, and then wound up with Trailmaster.
How did Trailmaster find you, or how did you find Trailmaster?
I found Trailmaster. Actually, I found it on motorcycleindustryjobs.com. And just applied, and I think Dave reached out, liked everything. It sounded like, it's basically selling fun and stuff that's affordable, when trying to make sure that the quality is still there. Because I look at it now and it's just insane to me what some of these new dirt bikes and stuff cost.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess the first one off the top of my head is probably a little more on the fun, dangerous side. Any super interesting stories about like a wreck that you've been in? Maybe we can share something here.
I've never wrecked.
No.
Me either.
I just don't like playing that game because, if you spend thousands of hours doing something, like I've had a snarky nurse in the ER one time tell me, okay, we'll go with this one. Yeah. So my favorite story, because anyone outside of motorsports loves to say, oh, well, yeah, of course, you deserve that. That's what you get. My wife's an RN, so like, I double get it. Carrie, I'm sorry for watching this. But no, I took a foot peg to the shin one night when I was a kid. Literally no big deal. They stapled it shut. I, walked out of there. It's fine. But this lady stapling it up is like almost like smiling instead of, like wincing as she's stapling it. I'm like, what's your problem? And she's like, you came from that motocross track across the street. I know it. And I'm like, well, ma'am, how dare you? I put on pajamas so that way, the insurance thinks this was a bicycle accident.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't know why anyone would let anyone do that. And I was like, it's Arkansas. I said, do you have kids? Yeah. Are they sons? I've got one son. Does he play football? Yeah. Okay, he lines up in front of somebody and tries to hit them and inflict pain.
Yeah.
I would rather do this. And yeah, my brother played football. He's had more surgeries than I have, I think. But I don't know. It's just, I hate that topic just because it always becomes like a weird measuring contest. And it's like, we don't ride dirt bikes or mini bikes or whatever thinking, God, it's going to be so cool when I break this and get a plate and 8 screws. Like,
Right.
it's going to be so much fun to be laying on my couch while my wife tells me she told me so.
Right.
Like, no. So yeah, I have broken a few things. Really, and I don't know if it's height related or what. And knees are my most vulnerable. Yeah.
I gotcha. I feel like for me, when I got into my accident, it was more of like a learning curve at that point. I mean, obviously it sucks going in the hospital and being bedridden for 2 months. That's not fun. But
oh yeah, yours was worse than mine then, for sure.
But I learned a ton about how to take care of myself while I'm on a mini bike now, which should be 101, should be the things out of the gate. But, boys will be boys.
What'd you break?
12 ribs, a shoulder blade, and a punctured lung.
Oh, that is wild.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because I was debating this the other day as we were leaving the GPS ranch. I was like, maybe I won't wear the chest protector this year, and I'll just like wear the neck brace. And now that you say that, I'm like, oh no,
I think you are now.
Yeah.
I like my my super heavy.
I mean,
thick,
if I'm going to do any like stuff that we like to do, I will for sure be at least
fine.
borrowing yours, or I'll go buy one.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
for the record, there are different levels of chest protectors. There's like the thin plastic that's technically like a roost guard. And then there's the CE certified one that is like FIM, Federation International Motorsports certified. So anyone in Supercross has to wear that chest protector, and they are thicker than a Snickers.
Really?
I don't have my gear bag in my truck. Next time, I'll bring one because it's like you don't feel squat.
Just come in looking like a stormtrooper.
You kind of, I was going to say Ninja Turtle shell.
Okay.
But actually mine is white and black. Dang.
Yeah.
Holy cow, that's
The force is
Stormtrooper.
with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm thankful when my friends take a spill around me because I always need a reminder to be careful.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that I don't have to go through it. I can just look at Ollie, be like, yeah, I need a chest protector and gloves and everything else. So.
Oh, yeah. I mean, gloves, all that, pants, jersey. But for the record, I wore knee braces, full motocross pants, jersey, gloves, a neck brace. I don't remember if I had chest protector on or not. Helmet, goggles, really heavy, like high end boots, and none of it was like cumbersome or inhibited anything. I will say, shout out to Go Power Sports for making the extended front or side number plate
Yeah.
pieces, because the regular ones my knee brace is hooked on, and so I don't know if there's any footage because I blew so many belts at that event that I surely wasn't competitive after that. But I moved around a lot on the bike, and on the test day, my knee braces would get hooked on, and so I'd try to transfer my weight back, and I'm like, I'm stuck.
You do like a front wheelie, like
Kinda
a front
make- oh.
nollie. What are those called?
Endo.
Yeah.
So,
Nose wheelie.
so talking about you, so I'm gonna keep it on Trailmaster dirt bikes.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Last week we went out to GPS Ranch, like you said. We took out a few dirt bikes. Now, there are some new dirt bikes from Trailmaster, this JHL Pro Model Series. Are you a big fan of them?
I am. Frankly, it's always been like with an off-brand stuff. It's like, okay, cool. It's affordable. It's the right price point. But I've always looked at it as, would I put my family members on it, and would it make more sense than buying a pre-owned, bigger name bike? And the JHL stuff is where I've gone, oh, like this is the real deal. This, is, for instance, an MK125. One of the dealers of mine has a big pit bike racing scene in his area, and those guys, they can buy 2 or 3 of them for what a KLX 110 is going for. It's faster. You've got inverted forks. It's got a better shock. I mean, the guy who's ridiculously fast on a pit bike in that area holds like a world record for squat. He's built like a gorilla. I love you, Nick. Please don't murder me. And he hasn't torn his up. He's replaced a chain.
Wow.
You do that on anything,
Wow.
They're great, and you can get it with a manual clutch or an auto clutch. You can't do that on a CRF 110. The KLX 110 does offer that.
Who makes a KLX?
Kawasaki.
Kawasaki.
But that's a $3,000 dirt bike as opposed to a $1,399 Trailmaster.
Bam.
So the value is just so phenomenal. Another one of my favorites. My dad's been saying how he wants a dual sport for forever because he lives at he works at a national park as his quasi-retirement, and he just wants something quiet to cruise around some trails and ride back to work. And he loves the T5. It's not even a JHL, but it's a great bike. I mean,
you got a T5 to throw up on the screen for the people?
I do. Let me throw that up right now. There
Yeah,
we
keep
go.
talking about this T5 while he figures this
Yeah.
out.
T5, you're not setting any world speed records. I think the highest on the website for bvpowersports.com, it says that it'll do like 55 miles an hour. It went faster than that when I rode it just up and down the highway. I glanced down at the speedometer and I was like, okay, like
Well,
it'll go high.
at? 70?
No, I think around
60.
60.
Okay.
Yeah, which I also didn't keep on grabbing gears because like I was just getting a shot of me turning into the property, so I didn't go as fast as we go. But a bike like that isn't about how fast it can go. It's just riding some back roads, whatever, really connecting to the next trail, and it held its own great on the trail. Even with the tires that I think are like 70 or 80% meant for pavement. I only had one oh crud moment, and that was in a sandy washout. I started to wash the front end. I'm drawing a blank. I think there's like a cars and cameras corner after the sandy sweepers.
Yeah.
Okay, so for those who like know the 180, it was that sandy area.
The furthest part back on the track.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, please don't fall and hurt yourself here. But you do stupid things when Bernie straps a GoPro to you, right?
You got to.
So I felt the front end washing out, and I was like, and then I caught it, and I was like, okay, whew. But man, that thing, going down like the rockiest possible 2 sections, the Pucker Up, Putter Cup, and then what's the big hill that goes up?
Rockwood Ridge.
Okay, yeah. Is that the one that's got like a fence on the left side of it?
Yeah.
That one, thank you. Went up and down those fine. The bottom of Rockwood Ridge was just a mud bath, and it's still, skated around like an ice rink like any other dirt bike would. Yeah, just fun, affordable. Dude, that's a $1,900 dual sport dirt bike, $250.
And you can be street legal
Yes.
or just run off road.
Yes.
That's not bad.
I absolutely love that thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How about
Mile per dollar ratio through the roof.
heck yeah. So how about so there was a 300 out there. Is
Yes.
that another good one?
So that is probably my favorite at the moment that's been released, Trailmaster. I raced a hare scramble on it in Arkansas. I actually recruited Caden Braswell, who's a former factory gas racer, goes to school in my hometown because he's trying to figure out life. He had an ACL injury. Super nice kid, is just insanely fast, like has top 10s from pro motocross.
Oh, wow.
And he was like, "Yeah, Mr. Lee, I'll ride this Trailmaster." That's really how he talks. He is the nicest guy ever. But I couldn't believe it. I hadn't done a dead engine start on a dirt bike in 10 years since the last time I did a hare scramble. Went into the woods in second place and was like, "Oh God, now I have to remember how to go fast." And it did fine. I got a flat front tire. Caden got a flat front tire. It's super rocky. Like literally the entire pro and then the top 3 amateur classes are all on foam inserts. So like that's not really a bash against the product. We're riding in half the track looks like a rock quarry. But then we went and rode an arena cross track, something that bike's not even remotely meant for. Jumped everything on an arena cross track. So a 65-foot double, if you've seen Supercross, think the finish line double.
Yeah.
That's a standard 65-foot gap. Like it's measured. There's one of those. We jumped it. It did fine.
Nice.
Actually, we jumped it with flat front tires.
Oh, wow.
Because we were like, we still need footage because it's so hard to get footage, in a trail. And Trailmaster was like, "Yeah, we really want some footage to, put together a video." So yeah, that's how we kind of made hay where the sun shined. We were like, "Hey, at least the cameraman can see the whole thing." But yeah, that bike works great. So the chassis is 21-inch front wheel, 18-inch rear wheel, just like any other major off-road hare scramble, woods bike type racing. The motor is a 283cc dual overhead cam, radiators. It's even got a fan if it gets hot. Fuel injected. It runs like a big bore 250F. So, if you throw a big bore on a modern motocross 250F, chances are it's going to have a lot of torque, a lot of bottom end power. And it's probably going to fall flat compared to what a regular 250 would in higher RPMs. But that's how the 300 runs, and that power spread works perfectly for tight trails. So you're not really revving the snot out of one. You're weaving between trees, and at the ranch, that thing was so much fun, and that suspension is dialed for woods and rocky ledges and square edge bumps and tree roots. Like it soaks it all up. It's a spring fork. There's one of the most popular brands right now in off-road. Their biggest handicap is they had an air fork for so long, and it's so finicky. They just, hey, spring fork, it's hard to mess up. It works good. And the service intervals on that thing, knock on wood, I've popped a tube, and that's it.
Oh, wow. So what's a price difference between an OEM and a Trailmaster LX300?
So, Bernie, feel free to please fact check this, actually.
Yeah, throw up that LX300 so everyone can see it.
I know the LX300, if you get the dual sport model, it's, I want to say, $49.49 retail or $4,500. And then a KTM XC 250, you're looking at like 11 grand.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then if you want the pro model of the LX300, so the pro model gets you a skid plate. It gets you a twin chamber closed cartridge fork instead of the open bath fork, which really for trail riding, the open bath fork works just great. You get aluminum heavy duty radiator braces. I think a little bit better chain from DID. Both have bark busters. and surprisingly, the Pro model's the one that's not street legal, so you don't have the tail light assembly. But that's 5,300 because apparently the tires and the forks are a really expensive thing from the manufacturer. But I mean, those bikes both perform very well. If you get the dual sport one and you want to go race it, just plan on the night before taking off, some mirrors and lights and stuff.
Now, I'm not as big as you. I did ride the 300 only to the trailer because I didn't want to walk it. But I did ride, I think it's the SK 150. Is that right?
SX 150.
SX 150.
Throw that photo up.
Yeah. And so I took that from the bottom of the UE back to the house, and that was a ton of fun. For someone who's 5'6", 5'7", with my high heels on, I could
Feel
jump
free
on that.
to fact check that, Bernie.
Actually,
Fact check
throw
that.
up that
Throw up a picture
photo.
of Jason
I
next
would
to
gladly trade
a
heights though if I could.
yardstick.
Being like, if you're not good at basketball, being this tall is grossly overrated.
Okay.
So if it makes you feel any better,
Yeah,
I
people
would
at
trade you.
concerts hate you, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was a ton of fun. It had no problem climbing the hill, going down the hill, just revving it up. I was having a ton of fun.
That's awesome.
That was Tressie, my 14-year-old, her favorite bike to ride that day. And it's a little bit bigger. I think it's like a 2-inch longer frame than a standard pit bike. But you also get bigger wheels. So that's a 19-inch front wheel, 16-inch rear wheel. If you're familiar, anyone out there, with like a Super Mini or a KX100, 112, big wheel 85s, it's the same wheels. And honestly, the chassis, that's what it feels like. It feels like a bigger, a big wheel 85 for those who are familiar with motocross. But you have your typical pit bike engine, the horizontal engine. With it being a 150, we do include an oil cooler. You can get it in a 125 version, same bike, just a little shorter stroke and smaller bore, and no oil cooler. But man, they're trouble-free. They're fun little. I like them because as much fun as my friends have riding pit bikes, my knees are on the bars, and I like that one because I don't look as ridiculous. I look as ridiculous on that as other people do on the MK 125. So I absolutely love it. And I mean, with it being a JHL, they loaded it up with good stuff. I mean, it's got the folding unbreakable levers. So does the MK 125. The carburetion's good out of the box. I haven't thought, oh my gosh, I gotta
Rejet this thing. Return it. Yeah.
or throw a different carburetor on it because a lot of them are EPA sealed. It's just been pretty solid and easy going with those. I don't get, hey, what's wrong with this thing calls on those bikes.
Awesome.
I got a weird question. Why do they always have a smaller wheel in the back with dirt bikes?
I assume it's more so the larger front wheel is for stability, if I had to guess. And the rear wheel, I would assume you're choosing more so, well, two things. Really, we need to go back to whenever the class structures were built, because now the rule books are, you get these sized wheels. I assume going into that, like before the rules existed, that it was probably chosen based on gear ratio. Everyone thinks, oh, well, what size front sprocket, rear sprocket? Well, your tire size relative to the rear sprocket also changes your gearing. For instance, there's factory race teams who hate or love a 110/80 rear tire instead of a 110/90, or vice versa, for gearing. And then on the front tire, I assume it's stability. And then also, if you're familiar with mountain bikes, like whenever the 29s became, everyone had to have a 29, right? It just rolled over things so much smoother. I assume that it just transfers less harshness to your hands. But I don't know, because I've only ever ridden what comes on them.
Interesting. Thanks.
So then my last question on these dirt bikes, I should have looked this up. What's the price on an SX 150 or an MK 125? Just ballpark.
MK 125 retails for $13.99.
Okay.
SX 150, Bernie, can you pull this up? Because I can't remember if it's $18.99 or $19.99 or $19.49.
And a comparison to a KTM or a Honda, Suzuki, Yamaha.
An SX 150, I would think it's kind of a hybrid.
$18.99 on.
Yeah. So
Oh, yeah.
it's kind of a hybrid. So in a lot of ways, it compares to a Kawasaki KLX 140, a CRF 125F. The trail bikes that fit that that 12 to 15-year-old, depending on it's really ideal for the kid who wants to get into dirt biking, maybe got a late start, doesn't need a two-stroke motocross bike engine, all that power, but needs something that's not overwhelming enough to that way they can learn the basics. Where ours is different is we use a bigger, beefier version of the smaller dimension engine, whereas Kawasaki, Honda, Suzuki, etc. I love Suzuki. A DRZ 125, that engine is a sleeved down DR 200, and so it's an engine that's been in street bikes. Well, they don't care about being light and manageable on those. So as a result, the SX 150 is so much lighter. Tressie, my niece who rode with us, she was like, this thing was way more fun than, she compared it to my buddy Ozzy's XR 100. She was like, it just felt lighter, but it was still taller. And it still did everything. It had more power. And I was like, yeah, that's a pretty good synopsis. Put her on payroll. Just kidding.
So you've spent pretty much almost your whole life riding dirt bikes.
Mm-hmm.
You transitioned into sales for dirt bikes. What keeps your passion alive for dirt bikes?
Oh, I'm too far into this hobby.
There's just no turning back.
Like, who picks up a hobby at 34? I tried getting into like Call of Duty at one point. I'm not good at it.
Man,
yeah.
I'm with you. My buddies play all the time. They're not watching this podcast because they're playing right now.
Right.
But I jumped on for like a second, and I was just getting snipered everywhere.
I sold cars for a little bit, and like right out of college, and it's notorious for you spend all your time at the dealership, and basically those people are your family. We'd come home, and they'd be like, "We're getting on," and I'm like, "Y'all need a hobby." That's their hobby, though, and that's cool. I'm just not good at it. And so, I was just bringing down the group. But no, I've just, I really think it's just a matter of time invested. And then I don't know. I don't have the patience to start something new again. So that's actually kind of a lingering fear if we're getting real deep into like, this is my therapist talk. I don't know, and I'm terrified.
Your therapist
of what
is
I'm
actually
gonna
here. So.
I don't know.
Yeah. Actually have a second guest.
Joke's
Come on out.
You. I don't have one. It's probably not healthy. But no, I really have no idea what I'm going to do
Awesome.
when I can't do this.
I mean, it sounds like you're heavily invested into it, which is
Yeah, and right now I'm at the point in my life where, God, that ship has sailed of me like going any faster for like a decade. It's just trying to manage the amount of time I do get to ride and not losing speed, which, if you've raced a mini bike or ridden a mini bike or anything, the highlights are when you learn something new. If you go, like going and riding every day when I was, in my college years, it really wasn't fun. It's hot, it's sweaty.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't money in it. Like, it wasn't fun, but then in hindsight, I'm like, oh, that was cool. I got to go to Canada, or I got to travel the country, or whatever. But the highlights are the progression. And so now I'm just like, oh my God, I hope I don't lose more speed. But for me currently, the highlights are teaching my 14-year-old how to ride. And so like she's been riding for a year, but really she's been grounded for 6 months because kids. And so we went to his 956 facility, Master Pools, down here in Texas, and I was kind of casually paying attention, talking to another beginner dad, and I glance over and I'm like, she's jumping now. What?
Nice.
Yeah, like my first time at a motocross track, I'd been riding since I was 4. I didn't go to a track till I was 10 or 11, and I remember crying because the guy teaching the school, I was like, oh, I can't jump. And everyone was like, oh, yeah, it's because you're on a little trail bike, XR80. And then the guy instructing wasn't having that, and he jumped it in his Jesus sandals and a helmet. And I was just like devastated. I was like, yeah, it's been a very humbling hobby. And so I look over and I'm like, oh my gosh, Tressy's now jumping. Like,
Wow.
that was way quicker than I expected. Super cool.
Right.
Sending this to all my buddies who, know how long my learning curve was, and my dad, and they're like, yeah.
Have you made any like really good friends throughout this whole journey of through dirt bike?
Yeah, pretty much all my friends.
Really?
Whether it's friends I met at the races or friends I met through work, but I work, in this industry.
In the field, yeah.
Yeah. And I honestly, I feel like that might be tied to like why I still keep doing it. Cause at this point I'm like, okay, yeah, it's, it's a good weekend with my friends, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And it just kind of feels like, yeah, there's certain cliques where that has been the weird thing about moving to Texas. Everyone's got a private practice track that they know of, but they won't tell you about. And in Arkansas, everyone's like, oh, come ride this place, and nobody cares. But yeah, I've met a bunch of super nice people who've like moved from all across the country. All of a sudden they're, in the same neighborhood as me, and, hang out.
That's awesome.
Work on their bikes in the evenings, whatever.
Where do you guys
Go ride.
normally ride around here?
My favorite place to go ride is probably Master Pools. That's his 956 facility in Paradise, Texas. If you watch Pro Motocross, Ty Master Pool is 7th in points in 250 class riding for Pro Circuit Kawasaki. It's their facility. It's $40 to go ride the main track, $20 to ride the beginner track, and you will get your doors blown off. But it's actually safer than anywhere else because my second favorite is Oak Hill. Love Oak Hill. It's a lot of fun. The more populated the tracks are, the more you get. It's not even the true beginner. It's that like gray area where the confidence progresses quicker than the skill, and a lot of times it's teenagers. So yeah, it's scary. Like there's some tracks, I'm not going to mention a name, where like there'll be 100 people and everybody goes out for the A group practice, and it's like, but you sign up for C class on race day. And you're trying to dodge a mosh pit. Granted,
The 180.
it's true. No, actually, I thought the 180, everyone was pretty good and held their line there. But yeah, I don't know. It's just a population thing. There's millions of people in DFW. There's 2 million people in all of Arkansas, and maybe a few hundred that ride, whereas DFW, there's thousands, and they're going to a dozen different tracks. So I kind of like finding the ones that are a little less populated, and then Master Pools, they just prep it like an outdoor national. So
That's
it's
awesome.
fun. I feel like when it's ripped really deep, it brings the speeds down. The dirt's fluffier when I do fall. That's my preference.
Excellent. I've got another one. Actually, I just read it. How has the dirt bike community changed since you started?
Oh,
Like,
man.
obviously,
Yeah, that's
there's
very
a
good
bunch
one.
of freaks out there. I mean, you can name anything, cooking or anything like that. And there's always just these new up and comers that's all they do.
Yeah.
They're the best at it, or at least we think. But how have you seen anything from such a young age to now? Is there anything that stands out?
Are you thinking more so the riding style and the speed, or the culture and environment?
I would probably say the culture more.
Okay, good. So as the sport's gotten more and more expensive, my dad loves to joke that, we would go to races, and I was still in Boy Scouts at the time. I had to be in Boy Scouts in order to get the privilege to go racing. So we would throw a tent on the ground and have the old Coleman camp stove and make breakfast in the morning. And we would always joke that, there's some of the kids from the motorhome who come out and eat our, sausage and biscuits or pancakes, whatever. And now there's so many people who, we used to joke that, oh man, there's a handful of motorhomes. Now there's so many of these giant motorhomes, or if they don't have the motorhome, they're, oh yeah, I don't do that. And they pull up in their Sprinter. It's like
So, we get it.
that's
Same
more
thing.
than
Yeah.
yeah, that's more than a motorhome nowadays. So that part of it, and also I think the training facility aspect of it. So I grew up getting into the sport around '03 and not really getting super into it until like '04, '05. And I remember one of my friends went to Millsap's training facility, and it was night and day. He was like, "Oh my gosh, it's crazy! You get to ride every day with factory level riders." And now, any kid who, well, I say any, that's an exaggeration, but the majority of kids who are trying to qualify for amateur nationals, even in the novice class, are spending time at training facilities. It blows my mind. I know a kid, I love him to death. He mowed my lawn at my house in Little Rock. Like, that's my boy. I texted him on the way over here. Somebody spent 2 school teachers' salaries on this child to have 4 bikes and spend the year at a training facility, like 2 different training facilities last year. And that was cool. Hey, he made it to Loretta Lynn's amateur national in the novice class and got 17th. No one's life was changed by that. I feel like there needs to be almost like a slap in the face with the sport of like, are we getting the best bang for our buck out of these things? Are we just lighting cubic dollars on fire? And I'm all for chasing a dream. And I'm all for even the guy who still goes and signs up for an outdoor national who knows he's not going to qualify, or if he does qualify, he's not going to do well. Who cares? You're getting to test yourself against the fastest riders in the world on that day. Cool. And I don't judge anyone who's trying to get to that point even. Because, I was there. I was the guy who you're like, why did he sign up for Southwick? This guy sucks. It's because they let me. And I wanted to see how bad I sucked compared to the best in the world. But I did it on, at the time I was a broke college kid. We slept in my van on the trip up there. I had one bike. It had 130 hours on it, and it was 6 months old because I practiced a lot because I wasn't good.
Right.
So I don't know. I just feel like there needs to be a scaling back of the dollar spent, more accountability, and at the end of the day, some of the best trainers. Ricky Carmichael's mom never rode. Colleen Millsaps, who runs MTF, she didn't ride. It's not rocket science. You can more gas, less brake, shorter distance. Everything else, there's still a ton of things you need to learn, but that's safety stuff, and every coach says that. Like, do you need to, if you can't pick it up and you need to hear it beat it into your head every day for years, do we not look at you as being capable of learning at that point?
Right.
So I don't know. That's my thoughts on how the sport's changed. I love that training facilities exist in the sense that I just said it's my favorite place to go ride in DFW. Right. But it's taking away from local racing because your fastest kids are spending their time at a training facility. They're not going to the local track. And so, yeah, that's my very long-winded answer.
No,
Sorry.
That's great. And then as far as the style of riding, then has that changed at all?
Man, it has and it hasn't. I hate to compare anyone to Ricky Carmichael because he's the greatest of all time, Saint Carmichael. And then Jeremy McGrath, king of Supercross.
Yeah. Right.
If you let's look at 2 amazing, well, 3 because 2 of them are brothers, amazing riders in the 450 class currently. Jet Lawrence, Hunter Lawrence, Ken Roxon. They are the most precise and technical and talented. Chase Sexton's a hybrid. Just textbook. It looks effortless. You think, oh, well, they must be cruising. And it's like, no, that's just every single square inch of their body is leverage, and it's very tactical. Yeah. And that reminds me of Jeremy McGrath. Granted, it's evolved, right? But it's still kind of that just looks so graceful, And then there's the Ricky Carmichael aspect of, hey, this is going to be ugly. Ricky Carmichael, Ryan Villapoto. This is going to be ugly, but we're going to get it done. Feet are going to be flying off the pegs. We don't care. And and Hayden Deegan has that riding style. It's ugly a lot of times. It doesn't look super smooth. He has a lot of big saves, and you're like, dang, okay, I guess it worked. And then I guess the middle ground between that, I would say James Stewart. James was robbed of so many titles from WADA. Fight me on that if you want. But
in the comments, y'all. In the comments,
right? But Chase Sexton kind of reminds me of that because not necessarily in head and shoulders speed above anybody else. Because they called Stu fastest man on the planet. He either won or wrecked for like several years. That was a legitimate statistic. But he had that cool, effortless looking style. But then he would. They literally called scrubbing a motorcycle the Bubba scrub because he just laid a bike over to the point where he's like dragging foot pegs and handlebars, leaned over so much, going up the face of a jump to stay lower. And it's like, how did he say that? But he made it look effortless because he would do it on everything. And I have yet to see anyone really capture that. The closest just in terms of like looking effortless and then occasionally having some big moment, I'd say is Chase Sexton, but no one has that just sheer head and shoulders speed above the rest that he had. And I think part of it's not necessarily a dig on the other riders. It's the opposite. It's, when one guy stands out, everyone goes, oh crap, we got to do this. And more so, because they're too late. It's the people 10 years down the road who are like, well, that's the bar. You have to do that,
right?
Bare minimum. Everybody knows the workload exercise-wise that Ricky Carmichael and James Stewart were doing in 07, through 15. Like, there's privateers doing the same, cardio that Alden Baker has factory KTM guys doing. That's secret can't last forever, Now, nutrition stuff, sure, that's another thing. But, the riding, I feel like it's just deeper now.
Right.
I don't think there's more talent or skill set. I think it's just the depth.
Gotcha. I got one more to loop it all in back into Trailmaster, if that's
Go for
okay.
It. So sorry for everyone. Your comments, we'll read them with our eyeballs.
Is it
no,
comment time?
No, you keep going.
Okay, I got one more. So, this line that you're riding now is somewhat of the newer Trailmaster dirt bikes. You love them, we love them, they love them. Is there any ear to the ground that there's some new models coming out, or is this kind of where we're standing now? I assume you're in the front lines to hear something like that. Just don't. Okay, so next question.
No, there is.
Cool.
They want to get a 250 motocross race bike in. There may or may not be a sample that's been ridden.
Okay.
With photos taken.
Oh, did you post those? Whoopsies.
I don't know if I posted them. I know you were on a lot of the photos. You were on the 300.
They all look the same. Yeah.
They're black and white, so you can't tell.
Right. Yeah. Who's gonna? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you excited about that?
Very. Because the one I rode, the motor feels like a Japanese brand 250F. It's got a KYB spring fork with DLC coated lowers. I was talking with my friend about that, and I was like, that's on paper the most appealing fork if it comes into production that way of any 250 motocross bike. The KYB spring fork 48 millimeter fork is the industry standard, and nobody has DLC coating on it for the lower friction on the lowers. It's got split triple clamps, which the LX 300s have. If you're a nerd like me, KTM factory editions come with those, or you can buy the $900 X-Trig Rocks triple clamps. They just make them handle better on small edge bumps. They put a lot of nice stuff on it. There's
awesome
Japanese DID brand Dirt Star rims. That's literally the aftermarket rim I put on my personal bikes at home. DID gold chain.
Okay.
Hypothetically, if this,
if it were to exist.
If it were to exist. Yeah.
Okay. Man, that's exciting.
I mean,
hypothetically.
Hopefully, end of the year.
Mm.
Who knows? Okay. All right. Well, now we're up against it. Great job. Now I'm excited to go get a Trailmaster dirt
I'm
bike.
telling you.
Heck yeah, I want to go back out to the ranch. I need to take more photos. I want to test out more bikes. So we'll definitely put that on the books to go ride again. I also want to go out to Master Pool because I want to go ride and hit some jumps. So if anyone wants to come ride with us, leave a comment down below. We'll drop a link and let you guys know, hey, we'll be out there from this time to this time.
I know Buster's saying that he's going to be there, so.
I saw Buster
Okay.
said that he wanted to get one of those bikes after he fixes up his old dirt bike. So, yeah, Buster, come on down. I would love to ride with you. But thank you for coming on out, chatting
It's
with
been
us
an honor and
about
a privilege.
GPS 180
Is that me?
and
Yeah,
whatever that was.
Dropping pianos.
So, thank you. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Everyone out there, if you are listening wherever you're at, if you're on the podcast, if you're on Facebook Live, if you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to like, subscribe. You would do us a huge favor by telling one of your friends to go like and subscribe. On top of that, go get a Trailmaster dirt bike. Tell us how much you like it. Let us know what your favorite model is or which one you plan on getting for Christmas. And as always, I need you guys to be safe. I need you guys to be fast. And as always, ride on.